Hey, what's up, everybody? So, welcome to Lando's Lessons. Happy that you're here. Um, as you can kind of tell, these go in some type of order. I'll probably make a playlist that starts from the very beginning video up to the most recent because I make references to past videos and new. So, I have a couple things to talk about. Something that I picked up on today because I didn't expect to make a video this week. I thought I would just post something I created to hold over while I reworked some outlines, but decided that I had something pop up today and I wanted to share it with y'all. So basically, um, it's Father's Day, and the whole honor thy father and mother thing, I believe, is something that should remain close to your heart. You wouldn't be here without them. And I'm grateful and thankful that I have two parents that I adore and appreciate. That can't be said from a lot of people, whether it be them being estranged and out of their lives, whether it be loss because of death or illness, whether that be because of divorce or, um, for lack of a better word, the deadbeat attitude, or where they didn't want to claim responsibility. So that's easy to fall upon for me. That's a hell of a lot easier. I have my faults and my issues with my parents for sure, but it's nowhere on the scale of others. And we've talked about it personally between each other, which is great because that doesn't often happen either. So with Father's Day, I was very grateful to be able to spend it with them. I um, had a brilliant time. I think it was incredible. And based off what they said, they appreciated my presence and the presence of others as well as we celebrated. But one thing that I will say is there's this statement or phrase that goes around of you can't pick your family, and it's implied that you still stick by them to the very end. I agree that in cases where it is not to going to lead to turmoil or or damage or anything of that nature, that is the case. But also, just stay vigilant, man, because you see things when you talk to people when they smile at you and you can see ill intent in their eyes. Like it's just something you pick up on. It's right here. It's right here in the gut. And I'm not saying that you should cut people off in your life because that's not true unless there are some extreme circumstances and a proven track record. You take things and you take people as they are. You let them prove who they are via their actions. And even with that, you still give them grace because you just never know what they're going through. You never know what they're experiencing. You never know where they are in their head or what life is treating them like because it's a two-way street. How dare you look at someone in a negative light because of an instance when you yourself are going through it? Don't throw stones in a glass house. Um, and that's how I have to take it because I know for a fact that I am a person whose emotions are dictated by things that ruminate in my head slash other things that I am working on currently. But yeah, just when it comes to family, when it comes to friends, when it comes to coworkers, it's very important to make sure that you aren't played like a poop, but you actually, keep an eye out on things. You don't take people for for the brief face value. I think there is a huge difference between masking and a way to maintain positivity and peace and another thing of deception or things of that nature. And that's something that needs to be considered in this particular circumstance. Masking is a natural thing that happens to the majority of people. I am absolutely guilty of it because it is a way to keep the peace, and I don't like it as much anymore because I want to live authentically, and I'm working on figuring how to do that. I feel envious of those who are able to live their lives so authentically, so genuinely, and I want to be able to do that. It was hard to do it before because of depression and other things, but also and addiction and a few other things. But but also because it's really hard to put yourself out there. It's hard to be vulnerable, especially around strangers, but even friends, even family. It's hard to do that. So, take it for what it is, which is this. Give it time. Think about it. Figure out if this is you in your head or is this something that needs to be considered in the future. Um, I have some family that I'm not sure I'm going to be able to interact with like I like to. And it kind of hurts, but it gets me off my path. It 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 leads to temptation of following old ways. It's not good for me. It's not matching the progress that I've made. And if you felt that way as well, if you have people around you who you feel are going to pull you down to a place that you have crawled yourself out of, it's very important that you protect your peace and set boundaries. I I, I can set boundaries, yes, but I was really bad at it. I was coming at it from a very selfish place at times. And it wouldn't be clearly set boundaries, it would be boundaries that are defined by that moment in time, which is absolutely toxic. And I've had to work on that quite heavily. Um, and by the way, when I mention please remember that this is kind of like a personal diary, to be real. It's public because I want to create a community where people can comment on how they're feeling, comment on situations, get to the point where they can share their stories slash their experiences or the ways they found solutions, things of that nature. That's what I really want for this to be. But the royal I in this case, is talking about everyone that is able to view this. So please, take that in mind. It's this is what it is currently, and this current system is basically a personal diary slash vlog. And I think that's where I'll continue to make it until I have some type of plan for any additional content. Because I like doing this. I planned on doing 1 to 2 videos a month, and I've been posting every week, which is surprising. Uh, Still reworking some outlines, like I mentioned, but it is what it is. Anywho, yeah, just be cautious, be aware, whether it be coworkers or friends or family, what have you. If they aren't there to push you forward, and most importantly, if you aren't there doing the same, just examine the relationship. It is a two-way street. The people that are in my lives and have impacted positively, I am now sharing that with. And the reason why I'm so grateful for my parents and my sister is because they were there still when I wasn't able to do it or I wasn't doing it. And that's something that I will refuse to never take for granted again. Um, it's not. I have such shame about where I was in my life for so long. I'd be damned if I ever return there. And that brings me back to my point. I'm afraid of certain people in my life not caring enough that they could potentially bring me back to that point. So that's not even their fault because they are living their own lives and doing their own things. But I can't afford, and you can't afford, to surround yourself around that if it's going to lead to a net negative. So just be vigilant in that way. Next up, talking about the last video, I thought about things for a couple days and realized that I do want to make sure that I am bringing God into these videos because he plays such an important role in my life. Um, but I will also say it's one thing to preach, it's one thing to say things, it's a whole nother way to make sure you're living it. It's your actions dictate the value of your words. And acknowledging that in itself is just a great way to make sure that you are staying faithful to the one above. Because if you act in a way that is of God, your life will go smoother. You will have less to worry about. You will be able to treat others the way they deserve to be treated. The golden rule is fantastic because if it worked as truly well, if everyone did it, the world would be such a better place. It doesn't matter what background you come from. It doesn't matter your religion. It doesn't matter any of the differences and labels we put on things. If everyone treated others the way they deserve to be treated and the way that you want to be treated, it gets rid of so much of the trivial bull. So, just I, I I know I want to make sure I cover that more, but I look back at it, and the narcissist and selfish thing. I I am selfish, and I have been way more selfish in the past, and I am working to address that. And because I am working to address that, that's I realize that narcissist is not the right word. It's it's something that a narcissist doesn't care. I think that's the best way to say it. They don't. They they weasel themselves out of things. They gaslight people. They deny, and a narcissist doesn't stay awake at night because of a thing that was said years ago or a day ago. You know what I mean? That doesn't happen. They don't care. If you are ever concerned that you might be narcissistic, sure, tendencies do pop up, but a narcissist doesn't care. So if you do care, if you are putting forth effort to make a change, take yourself out of that category. You might have selfish tendencies, sure. You might have narcissistic traits, sure. But to be labeled a narcissist, that's a certain type of evil and lack of empathy that I think needs to be reserved for those who are actually it. So don't beat yourself up. We live in such a judgmental world that I know a lot of people are called that. And I don't want you to be misconstruing something, um, because if you are actively putting in the work, you're doing something that a narcissist never would. Um, yeah. Next, I have a video that I was going to post tomorrow. I didn't think I would be recording this, to be honest. It wasn't until today that I realized that I had something to say regarding family, friends, co-workers, whatever, and their relationship as far as positivity, as far as the dynamic between you and them, making sure that you're both giving and taking positivity from each other, a place of growth, mutual growth, mutual growth. It's not just about you. Um, but yeah, I wasn't planning on doing a video, so I was going to release something that I am scared to, but I am proud of. When I was in therapy earlier this year, I decided to do some processing in the way of a video. And what the video is it's a montage over music, and it is a look into the night of a alcoholic. It is what many of my nights look like, and it was a pain to do. It was a one-man crew, me, myself, and I. One man in the video, one man shooting, and literally when I showed, the only people who have seen it are my parents and my sister. I I couldn't be in the room with them when I showed it to them. I kind of just gave them the headphones and put on the video and walked out because I didn't want. There's so much shame. There's just so much shame and so much pain. I I I didn't want to be in the room with them, but it's I think it's gonna help people. I do. I feel like if it was something I watched when I was in the throes of things, it could have helped me see the habits that I have are not beneficial. But whether you're in the throes of it or addiction or alcoholism in this case, or whether you are on the outside of it, I hope that this video can bring some semblance of recognition, understanding. Um, One, that you're not alone in this, that other people go through it. Um, Two, that if you're in the throes of it and you relate to the video, let me just say that it can get better. It does get better. It is a hard, long road, but you are strong enough to do it, to take it. If you truly want it, it is. It is right there for the taking, but it's going to take a lot of hard work and dedication. It's going to take a lot of meditation. It's going to take a lot of prayer. It's going to take so much of you to get that out of your life, whatever the addiction may be. And with that comes the growth that you're looking for. With that comes the solution to so many issues in your life that you didn't think you would be able to conquer because of the roadblock, the giant wall that is stopping you from escaping into being the best version of you, living your best life. So, um, I, I couldn't even stay in the room with my parents or sister when I showed it, and yet I'm gonna post it. I it could be, just processing and for the self, but like I said, if it can help one person, then I'm happy I posted it. I'm happy I put out that vulnerability. So yeah, look forward to that. Um, I think it's called Addiction: The Day in the Life, something like that. I planned on doing multiple. It's gonna be addiction. It's gonna be recovery. It's gonna be the present life. I plan on doing multiple of those. So look forward to those. That's probably going to be the first few bit of content that isn't just going to be me talking to the camera. Um, but yeah, so just to recap, going backwards, I have a new video coming out. It is a montage based off alcoholism and addiction, a look into one of the many nights of my life, and I hope that it resonates with folks who are either in the middle of addiction or past that point in sobriety. Secondly, if you've ever been called a narcissist, keep in mind that if you're putting in the work, if you have shame and guilt, if if you are going through the throes of just mental anguish because of certain conversations in the past, the present, or what have you, you're not falling into that category. You might have selfish tendencies. You might have traits of narcissism, sure, but you're not a narcissist because a narcissist doesn't care. They just don't give a damn. So make sure that, because that word has so much impact, make sure that you're protecting your inner peace and continue to work on getting past that selfishness. Make sure that you are living your life full of empathy and that you are sharing positivity with the world, not for the sake of getting it back, but because you truly want to be the positive light in other people's lives. And then lastly, just be aware who you keep close to you. Be aware of your circle. Be aware of the people that you talk to. Be aware of the people that you share personal thoughts with. Be aware of the people you share goals with, because not everyone is on your side. You don't want to learn that lesson the hard way. And by saying vigilant, good God, what is English? Um, I think that you will be better for it. Watch how people act, because a lot of people talk a big game, but they don't live that life. A lot of people talking, but see what they're doing, and make sure you apply that same logic to yourself. Don't talk the talk, but not walk the walk. Make sure that you are actually doing what you say. It's extremely important in becoming the most best version of you. But it's important for what I'm working towards, which is living authentically. That doesn't mean that you take me for what I am. I am who I am. No. It means that you are genuine, that you live for the sake of living your best life and spreading positivity. It's not about take me for what I am or leave me alone. That's not the right mindset, y'all. And so many people do that. So many people say, well, I am the way I am. And that's not, no. People can change. I know it because I've seen people in my life do it. I know it because I am nowhere near the person I used to be. And I refuse to let I am who I am dictate my life. Fuck that. Continue to put in the work. Continue to watch those around you and make sure that they're giving you positivity and are giving you a place for growth, because you deserve that. Even if you don't feel that way, you deserve that. I hope that resonates with somebody. Be the best version of you. Give yourself grace, because no one else in this world will. Only one who will is right above. Don't beat yourself up. Don't ruminate. You're so much stronger than you might believe you are. And you deserve the very best, because you're giving your best every single day. Know that you're loved. I can't thank you enough for sticking around for this long video, but it comes from a place of just reflection on the day. So, thank you so much. Much love as always. Take care.